Well, the woke media certainly knows something that I don't know, or that we don't know yet, as seemingly in coordinated fashion, the Washington Post and multiple other big mainstream media mouthpiece news agencies all refuse to make an endorsement. What that really means, I'll explain in this video, because it's definitely not that they necessarily think Kamala Harris is going to lose, because I don't care what the people that you follow on X are tweeting about Polymarket this and early in-person numbers. That doesn't matter until the final vote is counted. I want people to not take their eye off the prize and vote like they're down 30, because what are we doing here? Why are we taking even a second to pretend that there's a victory lap to be had here until that man is in office? But seemingly, the Washington Post, which was purchased by Jeff Bezos and used basically exclusively as a left-wing propaganda outlet and a mouthpiece to tear down Tesla and Elon Musk because he's deeply jealous of him, has come out to say not only will they not be endorsing Kamala Harris, but the entire industry is full of liars. And the meltdown in the comment section from their paid subscribers has been legendary. This is not, make no mistake about it, this is not mainstream media coming out and saying, oh, we really want to be more honest now. No. They took a huge L in 2016, and for the next 4 years, repeated L's. They took a huge L in 2020. Even though their guy got in, they burned up what little credibility they had left. And the tiny shred, the little C hair, little blonde one of credibility that they had left, they burned up in the 2024 election cycle. They see the writing on the wall, and they know that they literally cannot take this L. And I'm happy. I'm happy because mainstream media is the root of all that is evil. They exist exclusively to divide people. And right now, a lot of, quote, journalists are probably looking for a new pair of underoos as the layoffs are coming, and they are coming bigly. And I've got a perfect opportunity to let them know about this video's sponsor, Sheath. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Sheath. Sheath makes the most comfortable boxer briefs I've ever worn. If you're sick of boxers that are too loose or briefs that are too tight, Sheath is for you. It's the best. You have to get a pair. Get one pair and it's going to change your life. Look, fellas and ladies, I know the idea of changing your brand for this kind of product is not something you think about often, but I promise it's worth the thought. Get one pair and it's going to change your life. The most comfortable boxer briefs you will ever put on your body. Their stretchy fabric is made out of a moisture wicking technology. They're super soft. They keep everything cool and comfortable right in place. It was a long time before I decided to try and make the change, and I absolutely love the product offering that Sheath has. Sheath is also the official underwear partner of the UFC, which is pretty cool too. Sheath is particularly useful for staying cool during the summer and while working out. The most unique thing about Sheath is that they have these dual pouches that keep your man parts separated, which prevents things from sticking together, keeps them right where they need to be. I was a little skeptical about the dual pouch, but let me tell you, it is in fact a game changer. And by the way, if you're not into that idea, you don't have to use them. Some days I do, some days I don't. They'll be the most comfortable pair of boxer briefs you've ever worn in your life. Plus, they have brand new materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling. Go to sheath.com to get the most comfortable underwear you've ever worn and use promo code THEQUARTERING, that's one word, and you'll get 20% off your order. That's sheath.com, promo code THEQUARTERING for 20% off your order. Hey, I know it's kind of weird to be like thinking about that. Women think about it maybe more than men, but give them a try. Strong support of this channel. I really think you're going to love their product. Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos defends paper's decision not to back a 2024 candidate, claims the presidential endorsements create a perception of bias. Bruh. Every article you write is not a perception of bias. It is actual bias. Here's the Los Angeles Times. The LA Times owner's decision not to endorse the presidential race sparks resignations and questions. Imagine how 10-ply super soft you'd have to be canceling a subscription. I know this is crazy for you guys to think about. You pay somebody money to bring you the news, and when they don't agree with you, you cancel it. I can't think of any better explanation of your standard run-of-the-mill mainstream media drone than that. You see here, shout out to Tyler from PKA writing, unsubscribing from a media outlet because they won't endorse your preferred candidate is a tacit admission that you only ever consume their content because it served the purpose of reinforcing your existing views. Couldn't have said it better myself. 100% true. It's the same thing that happens like when people make these big, oh, I'm unsubscribing because you said one thing I disagree with. It's like, first of all, it's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. But second of all, like, I'm not going to say everything I say. I think that most of my viewers, the overwhelming majority of them, will commonly disagree with things I say. But they aren't here for me to, tuck them in at night and tell them everything's going to be okay. They're here for me to be honest. And sometimes that means we're going to disagree on stuff. But that's okay because that's real life. Now, you also had I had this other article. Where is this? Tampa Bay Times decides not to endorse for president. The paper endorsed Biden in 2020 and Clinton in 2016. I believe USA Today also did it. Let me see here. USA Today will not endorse a presidential candidate, becoming the third major paper to do so. First of all, remember this. They are not endorsing Kamala Harris because probably they believe she's going to lose, okay? If they were really endorsing the candidate, if they really cared about who is the better candidate for America, they would be endorsing Donald Trump. But that's not what they're doing. They're simply abstaining, which is still endorsing Kamala Harris. It's still telling their viewers that there's no good candidate. You should probably endorse Kamala Harris. By the way, I don't know how many newspapers on the planet, when they make an endorsement, excuse me, how many votes that brings. Certainly less in 2024 than ever before, ever in history, probably less. The LA Times not endorsing Kamala Harris. Again, a lot of people are thinking this means, oh, they're endorsing Trump. No. They know the writing is on the wall and trouble is on the horizon. Even the Washington Post, Bezos was within his rights to screw this up. Even the Washington Post is turning on him. Over 200,000 subscribers flee the Washington Post after Bezos blocks Harris endorsement. The Washington Post has been rocked by a tidal wave of cancellations from digital subscribers, also known as NPCs, and a series of resignations from columnists as the paper grapples with the fallout of owner Jeff Bezos' decision to block an endorsement of vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris for president. By the way, if you were paying for the Washington Post, did you really need them to tell you who to vote for? If you're paying the Washington Post, you've already raised your hand and said, I want to be told left-wing propaganda and I'm willing to pay for it. A corporate spokesperson declined to comment, citing the Washington Post status as a privately held company. It's a colossal number. Former Post executive editor Marcus Bruchelli told the NPR, the problem is people don't know why the decision was made. We basically know the decision was made because we don't know what led to it. Chief executive and publishers, Lewis said on Friday, explained the decision not to endorse this year's presidential race or in future elections as a result of the Post's roots. It has for years styled itself as an independent newspaper. Few people inside the paper credit that rationale, given the timing. However, just days before the neck-and-neck race between Harris and former President Donald Trump, former executive editor voiced that skepticism in an interview with NPR, so they went on another further left-leaning news outlet to whine and complain. Jeff Bezos knew. You see, Jeff Bezos rips the Band-Aid off, blasts his own newspaper's credibility, and the victimhood mentality based. This is from Jeff Bezos. Likewise with newspapers, we must be accurate. We must be believed to be accurate. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but we are failing on the second requirement. Most people believe the media is biased. Anyone who doesn't see this is paying scant attention to reality. They know they're losing to YouTubers. They're losing to overweight bearded guys with a webcam and a microphone in a 10 by 10 room. Bigly, by the way. Reality is an undefeated champion. It would be easier to blame others for our long and continued fall for credibility, but a victim mentality will not help. Complaining is not a strategy. We must work harder to control what we can control to increase our credibility. Jeff Bezos knows if Trump wins this election, that's it. You know, while I don't want to push my personal interests, I will also not allow this paper to stay on autopilot and fade away into irrelevance, overtaken by unresearched podcasts and social media blurbs. Now, without a fight, it's too important. The stakes are too high. Now more than ever, the world needs a credible, trusted, independent voice. Yeah, sorry, too little, too late, Jeff Bezos. I mean, you're right. You know, you got yourself a nice pair of bolt-ons on some woman with a bunch of plastic surgery. You started lifting weights, and now suddenly you care about the truth. Interesting how that works. The meltdown is happening in the comment section of the Jeff Bezos statement on his refusal to endorse a presidential candidate through the Washington Post is triggering of epic proportions. There are currently over 6,000 unhinged comments from far-left mob. You see, we used to trust the media until you and Murdoch took over. By choosing not to endorse a presidential candidate, the Washington Post, parentheses, Bezos, implies that the nitpicky faults of corporate media assigned to Kamala Harris are the same thing as Donald Trump's deranged and delusional fascism and racism and misogyny and xenophobia. If you use the term xenophobia in a non-dictionary definition way, you're literally a lunatic. Sure, and J6 was just a typical tourist day. I can't believe your PR team let you write this. This is all BS and coward's greed. Really, what Bezos is doing here is buying himself a few more years. That's what he's doing. The hard truth, Americans don't trust the news media. Why is that a hard truth? We all know that. Everybody knows that, child. Everybody knows you guys lie. Jeff Bezos breaking silence to deliver hard truth about Washington Post's refusal to endorse Kamala Harris as he denies quid pro quo with Trump. So, of course, them not endorsing Kamala must mean, yeah, I have a feeling there's two reasons why Jeff Bezos suddenly cares about credibility. Because chicks don't like weak beta males. Chicks don't like liars. Chicks don't like soy boys. Okay? I have a feeling. Journalists and the media have regularly fallen to the very bottom, often just above Congress. But in this year's Gallup poll, we have managed to fall even below Congress. Our profession is now the least trusted of all. Something we are doing is not working. That's from Jeff Bezos. Kamala Harris was literally the straw that broke fake news media's back. They traded their credibility for exclusive interviews and all this kind of stuff over the years, but they've been replaced. So no longer do they get the exclusive interviews. These people are going on podcasts. No longer do they get the exclusive stories because those are going on X and Rumble and YouTube. So literally there is no more financial benefit to carrying water for the Democratic Party. And that is the real reason you're finding out suddenly they care about truth. They don't care about truth. They care about money, and good riddance to all the papers that will close in the next 4 years. I look forward to earning those typical readers of the mainstream media news, hopefully one day as a regular show viewer and a viewer of my 1 p.m. Eastern live stream. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.